Let's talk about hats. And then we'll talk about seatbelts and helmets and stuff too. I guess helmets are a kind of hat, aren't they? But that's a little off topic. So, I live here in Texas, and I have a bald head. Some of that is because I shaved my hair really short, and some of that is because I'm going bald. And that means that I can very easily get sunburns and perhaps enough of that abuse, and I could maybe even start to get some kind of more permanent issue if I don't wear a hat. And so the question then is, should I be forced to wear a hat? Should there be a law that says that I must wear a hat because I have a minimal amount of hair? And should we be very specific about that? Okay, well, if your hair is of a certain density or length or whatever it might be, you don't have to wear a hat. And then when we have cops coming around and doing some kind of a hair analysis on me to see if I qualify to be walking around without a hat on. And this all sounds ridiculous, but this is what we do with seatbelts. And the idea behind seatbelts is, well, we're going to make a law to protect you from your own bad choices. And so we have these laws about seatbelts, about wearing helmets. Could have used a helmet there. I was getting pretty hairy. And who do they really protect? They don't protect the other drivers. They only protect that person. And the justification for it is, well, we're paying a lot more in insurance rates, or we're paying a lot more just as a society because of these people who get hurt in accidents, who weren't wearing a seatbelt, who weren't wearing a helmet. And so how far do we take this? Because again, if I'm irresponsible and I don't wear this hat, sexy as it is, I know, but if I don't wear this hat, I'm going to do damage to the skin on the top of my head. And that could potentially cost insurance companies, society, whatever it might be, a little bit more money because I didn't take care of myself. So should there be cops that come around and give me a ticket or take me to jail because I'm not wearing a hat? Or maybe because I didn't pay my fine for not wearing a hat, I should be sent to jail. Well, all of this, what's going on right now with the jabs and the masks, it's really the same thing. And this didn't start with these. This whole idea, the way this works, started with, and I'm sure some of you can correct me and take it further back in time and find another incident or something like that, but it all started with, from what I can tell, like seatbelts was the main big thing, and then helmet laws. And then it progressed. They kept finding other ways to incorporate this sort of stuff. Like, the next thing was, oh, you have to take your shoes off when you fly on an airplane. And, put them through the scanner. Like, really? Are you serious right now? And it's all a bunch of BS virtue signaling. And that's what we have going on nowadays. It's a bunch of BS virtue signaling that they're all doing. They're all trying to get everyone to play along. They're playing this game of, well, if you don't play along, then you're a bad person and you hate everybody. And if you hate everybody, well, then you're already a bad person, and therefore we should be able to do bad things to you. But then we go back to my hat. Should I be forced to wear a hat to protect other people? Should I be forced to get a jab to protect other people? Because, that whole thing is that, like, oh my God, that is unbelievably stupid. It's like even Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, they both said the same thing. They said, you unvaccinated people have to get vaccinated to protect the vaccinated people. Like, what the shit are you talking about? So, you're telling me that the only way to protect the people who got the thing is for other people to get the thing, because obviously the thing doesn't provide any protection from the thing that it's supposed to be providing protection from? Like, it's just not making any sense. And, like, studies are coming out saying that natural immunity is about 13 times more effective against the original brand and the variant brands. Like, so why aren't we testing for that? There are tests for that. There are a lot of tests for that. And so wouldn't it be irresponsible of someone to put something into their body that is unnecessary, to do that unnecessary medical procedure? But that's what we're talking about. So at this point that it's all virtue signaling. It's all just this game of trying to play righteous and holier than thou. And it's all a bunch of BS. Because again, you wouldn't agree, well, probably wouldn't agree that I should be fined or arrested for not wearing my hat. That's my business. If I don't give a shit enough about myself to take care of myself, that's my business, my problem. And this game of, oh, well, you have to protect other people. It's doing it to protect other people. We can't play that game. It's just like when it comes to offending people. I can't take responsibility for what you're offended by. And you can't take responsibility for what I'm offended by. You have no fucking idea what's going to offend me. And so, to what point should you have to control your speech? Or to what point should I control my emotions? And so it's the same thing. But especially if there's a thing out there that's supposed to protect people, then they should be able to go get it. I ain't going to stop them. I'm not going to insult them. I might think it's a little silly myself, but if they feel that that's the best thing for them, and if their doctor feels that that's the best thing for them, good on you. Go do it. I'm not going to try to stop you. In other words, this force of will, this force of compliance is only going one way. It's not a two-way street. Only those who are demanding that everyone go get this thing are trying to force their will. Those who aren't demanding it, who don't think that it's necessary, who who don't think that it's the right choice for them. They're not demanding anybody else do anything other than what those people want to do. They're not trying to force their will upon people. And so I wear a hat because I'm not an idiot, because I understand that there are dangers associated with not wearing a hat when you're bald. And so I wear a hat. That's my choice. That's my decision. That is my risk calculation that I have done. And that's all I'm saying, is we should all be able to do our own risk calculations for ourselves without having things forced upon us. Now get out there and be nice to each other.